such a nectar. My heart was like afraid of it, like, and I felt it just like astral body, some reaction, some with bad experience from this world.
I appreciate your higher sensitivity, subtle sensitivity. Spiritual, one of the spiritual qualities, to become subtly sensitive, finely sensitive, to become fine man, fine woman, fine person. In order to become truly fine person, also need to have fine sensitivity, fine perceptions and feelings. That is befitting, especially for the spiritualists. So I'm talking on principle. Again, I'm talking on idea, not just giving some glorification, glorifying the fact because you're listening Harikatha from me and so you're feeling great about that, so happy, not trying to mean any personal glorification from Harikatha, around my Harikatha, but any high-class Harikatha from any pure sadhu. That's what I'm talking on principle. When you are hearing about any pure Harikatha from the lips of any pure sadhu, when specifically speaking from his own natural mood and realizations, and it becomes living. It's not any intellectual kind of analysis or explanations, much more spiritual quality. We need to cultivate that more and more. Dhanyavad. Hare Krishna. Take your seat, feel comfortable wherever you feel like, sitting there, sitting over there, wherever. Or bed is also available there. Developed state. Oh, it can make you subtly perceive so many aspects of the spiritual world. Sometimes it so happens, I have got that experience, certain experience in my feelings, in my ways of awakening, awareness, that sometimes some of the points in that topic, a particular spiritual topic, is not being directly discussed, but just in relation to the main stream of the discussion, you can even be feeling around all other aspects of the topics which is not directly spoken. That's called relationship. That's called developing more sambandha jnana. Subtle way of cultivations of subtle, fine, relational understandings. More understandings, growing that intuitive, relational feelings, intuitive kind of intuitive realizations happens in a very natural way. So then you can even be feeling into these other surrounding aspects or subjects connected to the main topics of discussion, central one, even if it's not spoken yet. Automatically happens on the higher stage of the realization, or even cultivations of the realizations. After all, it's spiritual world, unlike the isolated material type of experience. Even in the world of material dimension of experience, so many things to be known. The way an ordinary person relates to a material thing and a scientist relates to the same matter, quite different from each other. They are not same. Okay, maybe similar, but not same type. Because like you're a geologist or some, what do you call? Like botanical scientists, geologists, astronomers, astrological scientists, and other different the physical things, even on the material plane, is much more, much deeper than the way an ordinary person, common persons relate in a common way, understanding. Then what to speak more of the vast, infinite world of spiritual experience, divine, vast, all-pervading divine experience. So full of wonders, beautiful wonders, wonderful beauties. Filled with wonderful knowledge, experiences, through different frequencies, different dynamics, and dimensions, not one or two. And they are all interrelated. All are interrelated, whether going upward or going downward, going southward, all rounded way. So many aspects. Like from a sun, full moon or sun, the rays are emanating from all different directions, not one or two. Effulgence emanating from the sun or star, all rounded way. Okay? If we can connect to one ray of that, we can connect to the sun directly, connect to the star through that path. But through one connection, you connect to the whole. Although we cannot finish, we can never finish it. We can never comprehend everything in full. Never realize everything in full. But even through the connection of one ray, one fine path, in some mystically wonderful way, divinely wonderful way, we can connect to the whole. Like on the level of quantum physics, connect to one atom, one part of the quantum physics level, connect to the whole, all over the universe. It is spreaded already. Okay. Already one, spreaded as one being, internet of one being. Universal internet of one being, although same one being containing many parts, many aspects, touching, connecting to the level smaller than the smallest and up to the level bigger than the biggest. So, like for example now, you just spoke about your fine experience, and in that connection I am explaining in this way, naturally, spontaneously. It's something living experience. So, good sign that you are being real spiritualist.
This is the problem.
You're going to be cultivating. You are in the process of having more cultivations, living cultivations of becoming fine spiritualist. Come. Member of the devotional world. Fine devotional world. You can have that taste in Harikatha. Not only while some are sleeping, dozing, thinking, oh, I have heard, when it will be ending, and someone having kind of neutral state, kind of neither positive nor negative, kind of in between neutral state. Okay, here I have to be sitting here, I need to hear Harikatha. Okay, it's my duty, nice duty to be sitting here and hearing Harikatha from Sadhu. Let me do it. Cannot like yourself. Connect into it and taste it. Find all kinds of mixture in the audience also. So when we see such quality, we appreciate that. Some fine quality, science. Some devotees have it more in a dormant state or awakened state. That some fine qualities, similar fine qualities. Some of the devotees in our society have maybe more in a potential way or more awakened way. So now, reflecting on surrender. Likewise, what I have just explained. The very nature and character of devotional surrender is just opposite. Simply opposite or diabolically opposite to the character of surrender done in army consciousness. Okay.
Bees are coming. You start and then natural attraction. Bees are coming to the flower.
How many more bees are supposed to be coming?
Come. Collecting the honey.
So, again, the nature of higher spiritual surrender to the Supreme Lord, the very character of higher devotional surrender, any devotional surrender to the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Divine Truth. It's just simply opposite. That opposite character to army type of surrender. Force, any kind of forced surrender. People in general, people in general in the society don't like to surrender because they have got a very wrong, gross concept of the surrender, which is causing so much exploitations. Okay, which surrender is done, being forced, okay, under compulsion, under some force, and with the feelings, with the experience of helplessly getting subdued or dominated, exploited, many cases abused. No, that's the reason. That's the reason we have got very wrong. We've got only one part of a limited concept. Okay, very wrongfully limited concept of the surrender. No life. It's true. Whenever we speak of the term surrender, dominated control all come. The concept of surrender. Okay. But devotional surrender is diabolically opposite. When I'm saying simply opposite, diabolically opposite to this material concept of unwanted, most undesirable, bitter surrender. How? That once a devotee, a higher spiritualist, divine spiritualist, or a true devotee of the Lord receives even a glimpse of the taste of the Supreme Lord. Receiving, I repeat, receives even a glimpse of the nectarian taste, ambrosial taste in relation to the Supreme Lord. Then the way it feels, one cannot but surrender, feels helpless, irresistible, cannot resist himself or herself from surrendering and dedicating so much loving attraction. See how opposite it is working. No. In one hand, nobody wants to surrender, hates to surrender. Hates to surrender. On the other hand, just opposite, cannot help themselves but to surrender. Cannot resist, cannot control, cannot help themselves but to be surrendered. Helpless. So much helpless, irresistible attraction to that nectarian taste. Having nectarian love relationship with the Supreme Divine. Being helplessly attracted to be surrendered. Here surrendered means to be dedicated, lovingly dedicated. It said love surrender. No forced surrender. Not at all. Never. Never. Helpless love surrender. Being helplessly attracted by spirit of love dedication. That's what it is. Shukadev Goswami wonderfully, beautifully explained. Parinishthito vinoirgunne uttama shlokali laya grihita cheta rajarshi akyanang jad adhitavan. Shukadev Goswami Prabhu was describing about certain reality, about some from his very nectarian realization, nectarian taste. How his heart was helplessly attracted, irresistibly attracted to the nectarian description of Radha Krishna Leela. He was saying, addressing King Parikshita, he was opening his heart to him, telling him, letting him know, telling him about the reality, how he got so irresistibly, ambrosially attracted to the nectar, ambrosial Leela of Radha Krishna. He was just saying, just describing, Maharaj, King Parikshit, I was in the first place, I was simply deeply established, just deeply absorbed on the plane of Nirguna consciousness, the level of Nirguna Paranga Brahma consciousness, Atmarama Paranga Brahma consciousness. And I had no direct taste. I had no any direct attraction, no experience of direct nectarian attraction, energy. But I was rather more situated, deeply situated, fully absorbed, deeply absorbed in the Paranga Brahma consciousness, more impersonal, impersonal but very happy, delightful consciousness of the super soul level of super soul and Paranga Brahma. Oh. I did not know there's some higher treasure, some treasure even higher than that, so much more attractive, much more ambrosially attractive, irresistibly attractive. But as soon as I started hearing, I began to be hearing, there were some wonderful nectarian verses describing the most wonderful nectarian pastimes of Sri Radha Krishna. Okay. Even without being controlled by me anyway, without any planning of me anyway, spontaneously my heart, whole heart and soul spontaneously got attracted to that nectarian taste of Radha Krishna Leela irresistibly, automatically, irresistibly. No. That nectarian wealth, I'm going to be devotionally sharing about that transcendental ambrosial wealth, ambrosial taste of Sri Radha Krishna. I'm going to be describing, narrating about that, sharing with you and all the assembled devotees. So Shukadeva Goswami Prabhu has also described about this reality. And you know, when Shukadeva Goswami Prabhu started speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, he was completely he was totally entuned with that infinite awareness, infinite taste, infinitely wonderful divine taste, experience around and about Sri Radha Krishna. In the language of Guru Maharaj, you are simply connected to the unlimited, infinite ocean of ambrosial knowledge and taste about Radha Krishna. So, no matter what kind of question was coming to him, he was unlimitedly able to answer all questions. Because he was connected to the unlimited ocean. Nothing lacking. Okay. No limited knowledge. He was connected to such infinitely oceanic knowledge. Okay, infinitely and divinely oceanic knowledge about the Supreme, or the Supreme Absolute Divine Lord, Divine Couple. That any question coming from any part, okay, any portion of the universe, from anyone, he could answer. Okay, all answers are there. He could be giving answers to each and every query. It's not lacking in anything. Situated in that infiniteness, that infinitive, oceanic, ambrosial knowledge about the Supreme Divine Lord, a divine couple. That's what has been described to this term, Akuntha Medhasham, about Shukadeva Goswami. Akuntha Medhasham. Medha means transcendental knowledge. That knowledge is not just any calculative knowledge. Not at all just some limited calculative medha, calculative or intellectual knowledge. Much more than that, infinitely more than that, infinitely transcendental to the limited calculative knowledge. received through ascending method. It was revealing, coming and connecting to Sukadev through revelation. Divine descending method, divinely descending method, divine revelations. In the language of Guru Maharaj, from the divinely super subjective level. Sukadev Goswami was entuned, positioned accordingly. Akunta medhasam. Akunta means infinite, unlimited. Medhasam means realizations here. Your medha means never any calculative, intellectual knowledge. But the knowledge with realizations to the infinite. Realizations to the infinite. There is no extent. We say to the infinite extent, it's a limited way of speaking. Realizations, knowledge fulfilled with realizations to the limitlessness, to the infinite. Back to the point of surrender. Once one receives even a glimpse of that nectarian taste, one cannot but be surrendered. Cannot but be helplessly attracted to have love surrender, love dedication. That is Saranagati. Therefore, Guru Maharaj entitles that book as Prapanna Jivana Amritam. Prapanna Jivana Amritam. Prapanna Jivana Amritam means Amrita, the nectar, the nectarian realization, ambrosial realization of the life of totally devoted. Saranagati can also be explained as the life of total devotion. Like totally devoted, lovingly dedicated. For the nectar, the supreme nectar of the life lovingly dedicated, life fully devoted. That is called Prapanna Jivana Amritam. Sometimes if you go through some of the writings of great Mahajanas like Prabhodananda Sarasvati, some Yamunacharya, Kulashekar Alua, or speak more of Sri Chandidas, Vidyapati, Gyanodas, Sri Jayadev Prabhu, Rai Ramananda Sarupa Damodar Prabhu, Sri Billa Mangalam, and Sri Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Bhakti Nandan Thakur. So many. Sometimes we can feel into the supernormal ways of expressing their intense love feelings, divine madness, the way they describes. Rather, I describe it in this way so that it's not misunderstood in any way. Supernormal. So much supernormal ways they are expressing their feelings. See the way of expressions. Sometimes we think, why repetition? Those devotees think, why not repetitions? Other way around. 1 time not enough, 2 times not enough, 3 times not enough. unlimited time is not enough. That's their realizations. So they in their world, repetitions never create any monotony. Repetitions have opposite nature. All repetitive ways of their sayings and experience, ambrosial experiences are of the nature just opposite to monotony, boring. Therefore, it goes on infinitely. See, some examples are there. Madhuranga madhuranga bapurasya from Krishna Karnamrita. Madhuranga madhuranga bapurasya vibho. Madhuranga madhuranga badananga madhuram. Madhugandhi sitasmitam etadahu. Madhuranga madhuram. Repetitions. Divinely nectarine repetitions. Not satisfied saying one time madhuram. Not being satisfied by calling it madhuram one time. Actually, he didn't have enough of expressions of madhuram within this verse. But what to do? He has to keep the verse concise form, in a precise, concise form, because it's a verse poetry. Otherwise, his real feelings, Billamangal Thakur's real feelings were going on saying madhuram to the infinite. That is his real heart's feelings. Look into the nature of Madhurastakam. From the beginning to the end, all madhuram still is not enough. He hardly skipped anything of Krishna, which is not madhuram, which is not full of sweetness. He found out each and every aspect, each and every point aspect of most sweet, the sweetest Lord Krishna, and glorified, not glorified, narrated, chanted, sang the glory of each and every point aspect of Krishna. Okay. Hardly skipped anything of the Lord there. Was not being satisfied only to be calling Krishna, okay, glorifying Krishna just in one full way. Oh, you are the Supreme Lord, you are the Supreme Lord of infinite madhuram, infinite sweetness, infinite nectarine sweetness. That way and period. No, not being satisfied in that way. He accepted, he connected to each and every detailed aspects of Krishna. Even the aspects he described, but there are many more aspects undescribed. Implied, not implied, understood in a fine ways. Still many more aspects left unspoken, unsung there. But they are all connected to all the detailed aspects described in that song, Madhurastakam. This is a wonderfully beautiful experience. And then Vallabhacharya's heart became relatively satisfied. Not fully satisfied yet. Relatively satisfied in a nice way by describing, by singing the glories of each and every aspect of Krishna in details through Madhurastakam. We see in a similar way for Billamangal Thakur, the life of Billamangal Thakur. Oh. Madhurang vapurasya vibho madhurang badanang madhurang madhugandhi tadahu madhurang. Last line is filled with only one term. Madhurang. so much nectarian experience manifested through Krishna Karnamritam, Sri Gita Govindam. The writings of Sri Jayadev Prabhu, Chandidas, Sri Vidyapati, Gyanodas, Sri Govinda Das, Sri Vasu Ghosha, Sri Rai Ramananda, Sarup Damodara. Of course, head of the whole family, Lord Chaitanya, Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Beloved Lord of the whole family. Then, later on, with the compositions of Narahari Thakur, Narahari Sarkar, Narahari Thakur. To some extent, then, to the composition of Narottam Das Thakur, like Vallabhacharya, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. As many of our Guru Varga. Prabhodananda Pad, how can I skip? The Prabhodananda Sarasvati Goswami Prabhu. Prabhodananda Sarasvati Goswami Thakur Prabhu. How wonderful, the most wonderful, beautiful way described all their experiences. Cannot be. Their glory cannot be fully described, cannot be fully explained. No matter how much you explain, no matter how much continue to be explaining, still so much more remains unexplained, to be realized only, to be felt, to be deeply felt. To be deeply felt and realized only. Sometimes you can go through those books, write their writings and dive deep into it, be swimming through it. Swimming through them with feelings. And then you'll be discovering more and more wonderful nectars as you dive deep into and swimming through. Not in common casual way, opposite to that. The way opposite to casual ways. And by some causeless grace, mercy, can be feeling something. Can be experiencing something blissfully wonderful, ambrosially wonderful. Many verses from Gopi Gita, from Bhramara Gita, some verses from Uddhava Gita, all are expressing their ambrosial love surrender, ambrosial love dedication to Krishna, nothing but that. Now, variegated beautiful ways, various beautiful, wonderful ways. But basically that's the same reality. Their feelings, expressing about their heartfelt feelings, deep, profound feelings, experience about their ambrosial loving dedication to Krishna. Various beautiful ways. Can you find out some some stava from Prabhodananda Pad on the internet. Just read, have some glimpse how he is describing about Mahaprabhu, Radha, Krishna. That from Mahaprabhu's glorification of Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi. The Chaitanya Chandramritam, some verses from Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi. Let them have some taste and experience into just his wonderful way of descriptions. And the way he was describing, not just wonderful poetry, much more than that. The way, the flow he's describing all this through. Never just kind of, never ever some intellectual type of poetry. Full of ambrosial realizations and flow of ambrosial realizations. Feelings. Find out that kind of verses about Mahaprabhu, about Radha Krishna. Self-effulgent, they are all self-effulgent. Translation, even read out the translation.
Now that the pollen of Lord Gaura's lotus feet has touched this earth, who, even without trying for it, has not attained the pure love of Krishna, that is the crash jewel of all human endeavors. Alas, alas, because of my great misfortune, only I have not attained even the slightest trace of the fragrance of that love. Because of this calamity, I say, to hell with my worthless life, to hell with my erudition, to hell with my high place in Varna Ashram society.
Extreme humility has to be understood in a particular, especially qualified way of Vaishnava humility, not to be literally taken. But look into the nature of humility. Such a greatly exalted, realized personality, devotee. And we can look into what kind of humility he is having. Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu, Prabhodananda Sarasvati Pad. To be attracting more mercy, more gracious attention from Krishna and Srimati Radharani, Sriman Mahaprabhu Radha Krishna. When Sanatana Goswami Prabhu began to be relating to Mahaprabhu with so much humility, Mahaprabhu could not stay away, could not stay even little distant from Sanatana Goswami Prabhu. He came forward running and embraced him, closely, intimately embraced him, telling him, stop. Oh Sanatana, please stop. Your humility is breaking down. Your humility is breaking me down, breaking my heart. I cannot take so much. I cannot take so intense ways of humility so much. You are attracting my heart so much. I'm being so overwhelmed with the extent and intensity of your devotional humility. So overwhelming. Please stop. Embracing Sanatana Prabhu. Completely disregarding some skin eruptions. I was having some skin eruptions at that time because due to the happenings, due to the effects of that, he was walking through different types of climates and water, taking bath different types of water. So eventually he had some skin eruptions, and they were externally, the skin eruptions are showing they are in a little more matured state, and apparently they are secreting something, some biological juice, skin eruptions. And so Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, Sanatana Goswami Thakur, so hesitant, feeling so uncomfortable that Mahaprabhu, Lord will come and embrace him with all this. Mahaprabhu didn't listen. He could not check, could not control, stop Mahaprabhu. He simply embraced Sanatana very closely, intensely, simply embraced him out of so much love. So much love. Sanatana Goswami was feeling so uncomfortable. And then after that he said, see, all my biological skin eruptions now, biological juices all now smearing or affecting your body. I feel so, Prabhu, I feel so down, I feel so uncomfortable, so shameful. Mahaprabhu simply looked at him, looked up to him, saying, this body belongs to Krishna. Sanatan, this your body form belongs to Krishna. Krishna has manifested all these, your skin eruptions on your skin to test me. For testing me, which way I relate with you, whether I hate you or I love it. This is nothing. In a devotee's body, when it's such things are manifesting in a pure devotee's body, it is not anything unholy. It cannot be treated in any unholy manner, any something like patrid or unholy way. All fully holy. Krishna is sending this test. He manifested all these things on your body to test me, how I react to it. And he said, I received the fragrance of Chatushram from your apparently patrid skin disease, skin eruptions. I simply received the fragrance of Chatushram. Yes. There are 4 kinds of divine fragrance, aroma in the spiritual world called Chatushram. Mahaprabhu said, I am simply receiving fragrance of Chatushram from your apparent skin eruptions. See, from where I started? Humility. So, Mahaprabhu was so deeply attracted to Sanatana Goswami Prabhu's devotional humility. That's why the pure devotees have so much humility, to be attracting special attention, heart of divine couple and beloved Lord Mahaprabhu. It works. It works. Supreme Lord simply gets defeated. The supreme unconquerable, supremely unconquerable Lord, who can never be conquered by any way, gets helplessly defeated, conquered by intense loving dedication, loving humility, devotional humility. So these must not be understood in a literal sense, the way they're expressing humility, Prabhodananda. Okay, go on to the next. Yes.
I found that verse which was often quoted by your Gurudev.
Your Shiksha Gurudev. My Shiksha Gurudev. Not just my Gurudev.
Quoting actually Prabhupada. But it is from Radha Rasasudari.
Yasha Kadapi Vasananchala Khelanatha. Apurvo. Yasha Kadapi Vasananchala Khelanatha. Dhannati Dhanna Pavanena Kritarthamani. Yogindra Durgamagatir Madhusudanopi Tasya Namast Vrishabhanu Bhuvo Dishepi. Apurvo. Yasha Kadapi Vasananchala Khelanatha Dhannati dhanna pavanena kritarthamani. Dhanyati dhanna pavanena kritarthamani. Yogindra durgama gatir madhusudanopi. Yogindra durgama gatir madhusudanopi. Tasya namastu vishabhanu bhubodishepi. Please be reading the translation, becoming a divine poet, not in normal way, poetic, devotional, poetic mood. Yes. Out loud.
Obeisances to the direction that faces Sri Vrishabhanu's daughter. When the breeze coming from that direction playfully moves the edge of his garment, Lord Krishna, who cannot be attained by even the kings of the yogis, thinks that his life has now become a great success.
Read again. Reading again.
Obeisances to the direction. I heard from my Shiksha, not directly to Radha, that direction towards her.
Yes, please be explaining.
Obeisances
In relation to your Shiksha Gurudev, please be explaining more.
Obeisances to the direction that faces Sri Vrishabhanu's daughter.
Yes.
When the breeze, wind, coming from that direction, playfully moves the edge of Krishna's garment, Lord Krishna, who cannot be attained by even the kings of the yogis, Govinda, Durgama, cannot be attained, thinks that his life has now become a great success. When the wind is coming from the direction of Radharani, touches his cloth, then he thinks, now my life is successful.
Carrying that divine fragrance of Srimati Radharani's divine form and clothes, Krishna is breathing in. Krishna is absorbing that fragrant air from the direction and feeling fulfilled. Dhannati dhanna pavanena kritarthamani, feeling ambrosially fulfilled. My life has been a great success now. Can you imagine? Can you imagine about the loving devotion of Krishna to Srimati Radharani in this place? See here, Srimati Radharani's unlimited loving devotion to Krishna is not being glorified here, not being narrated. Other way around. The intense loving devotional taste of Krishna in connection with Srimati Radharani is being described here. Glory of that being narrated here. Glory of Srimati Radha Thakurani. Unlimited, unfathomable glory of Srimati Radha Thakurani being described here through this verse, through Krishna, through Lord Krishna's experience, direct experience. Yes.
Maybe following saying, I meditate on the dust of Sri Radha's feet, dust that even Brahma, Shiva, Shukadev, Narad, Bhishma, and a host of great saints cannot see. Dust that has limitless power. Dust that at once transforms the Supreme Personality of Godhead into Sri Radha's submissive servant.
Same mood. Smara Garala Khandanam from Gita Govinda. Smara Garala Khandanam Mama Shirashi Mandanam Dehi Pada Pallavamudaram. Smara Garala Khandanam Mama Shirashi Mandanam Dehi Tavo Pada Pallavamudaram. Similar mood. Instead of saying about lotus feet of Srimati Radha, dust of the lotus feet. Please be reading again. May not have to read the verse, just translation.
This one. I meditate on the dust of Sri Radha's feet. Dust that even Brahma, Shiva, Shukadev, Narad.
So I interfere here. The conception of the dust from the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, although manifesting in Shantarasa, like in the form of dust, but it's not just any kind of normal dust of the mundane world, earthly dust. So our conceptualization, our very concept of the dust of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani has to be realized in proper lights, proper transcendental conception. Each and every atom of the dust of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani has got so much power, so much divine potency and power as an individual soul and being. They can be gracing, empowering other devotees' lives. Unlike some dust from the nature. Not at all. Very transcendentally qualified, transcendentally beautiful, qualified, with so much divine potency and power. Okay. Those dust. Dust is, yes, please be reading.
Even Brahma, Shiva, Shukadev, Narad, Vishnu, and the host of great saints cannot see. Dust that has limitless power. Dust that at once transforms the Supreme Personality of Godhead into Sri Radha's submissive servant.
Very high way of description. Both. Whole is like, yes, the whole Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi is flowing this way. Narrating the glories, uplifting, upholding the divine glories, unlimited glories of Srimati Radha Thakurani through Krishna. Okay. By Krishna, through Krishna, who is none other than the absolutely beloved Master come Lord of Srimati Radharani's life. She is being glorified, not glorified. She is being, that's the normal way of saying, she is being glorified. In other words, her glory, her unlimited glory is being sung directly by Krishna, her supreme beloved Lord of life. That is the very speciality, very special characteristic of Sri Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi. The ultimate, the one and only exclusively supreme beloved Lord of Srimati Radharani's life is engaged singing the glories of his top beloved queen, Srimati Srimati Radharani. More verses. Okay. Yeah, take some Anukalpa Prasadam and go. Hare Krishna. What's your good name again? Or Induhu Santa? Hare Krishna.
Very high. I'm afraid to.
Okay, so don't need to read that. You can read from. Okay. So please read from Chaitanya Chandramrita.
Sri Radha's playful dancing feet, which Krishna, holding a painter's brush in his hand, paints with red lead, to which the playful, intelligent, and beautiful gopis offer obeisances, and which, splendid and glorious, are hidden in the heart of the Upanishads, are the only goal of my life. And Sri Radha's playful dancing feet
Yes.
is the only goal of my life.
Beautiful. It is simply presenting, simply explaining about an aspect of Radha Darsham. Deep loving, lovingly, devotedly loving Radha ko inkarjam, Radha Darsham is explaining. Okay, you can read from Sri Chaitanya Chandramrita. How mystically wonderful way he has described our Mahaprabhu. Reading some of the verses of Gaura Leela. And that's how he felt about Lord Gauranga, the way he described. Yes.
O foolish people, please seek the path of pure Hari Bhakti, which even the great sages in ancient times could not find after long searching. If in your heart there is no faith, and if you think it is too difficult to attain, then please abandon all these misconceptions and take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Gaura.
Say again.
Please seek the path of pure Hari Bhakti, which even the great sages in ancient time could not find after long searching. If in your heart there is no faith, and if you think it is too difficult to attain this Hari Bhakti, then please abandon all these misconceptions and take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Gaura.
In the same mood of Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Okay, that was in relation to Krishna. It is in relation to Gaurahari. Yeah. Other verses. There are some other wonderful verses describing the beauty, wonderful beauty, qualities of Lord Gaura. There are many other verses.
The past, when even the greatest philosophers presented a host of arguments to support their mutually conflicting views, no one could be certain that any one view was correct.
Tavad Brahma Katha Vimukti Padobi Stavanna Tikti Bhavet. Is that the verse?
But further it says, but now that the unlimitedly splendid and powerful moon of Lord Gaurachandra has risen, who is not certain that pure devotion to Lord Hari is the ultimate meaning and the purpose of the Vedas?
What kind of translation is that?
Like before, it was not certain. But now, when Mahaprabhu appeared, it is certain that pure devotion to Lord Hari is the ultimate meaning and purpose of the Vedas.
Okay. It's translated more literal way. Anyway. Next verse. Yatha yatha gaura padara binde bindeta bhaktin krita punna rashim. Many wonderful verses. Like prema nama adbhutartha savana pathagata kasya namanang mahimma Kova janati vrindavana maha madhurishu pravesha Kova janati radha chamatkaro madhurja shima Mekas chaitanya chandra parama karunaya sarvama vischakara. Can you find that verse? Starting with prema. Sanskrit is not there. Why no Sanskrit there?
I will try some other version.
Starting with prema, P-R-E-M-A, prema, then namadbhutartha. Got it?
Do you know the number?
I don't remember all the technical details. Prema, nama, prema, then start N-A-M-A, nama, M-A, N-A-M-A-D, B-H-U-T-A-R-T-H-A.
I got the Sanskrit now, but Chaitanya Chandramrita.
Chaitanya Chandramritam. By Srila Prabhodananda Sarasvati.
Prabhamala.
No index given there. Did you find Jatha Jatha Gaura Padara Bindi Bhuja Sudham Rashi? Yeah.
To the degree that we surrender to Lord Chaitanya's service, to that degree we acquire qualification for service to Radharani's lotus feet in Braja.
Listening, Vasudha, be listening to. Okay. Will you please read again?
To the degree that we surrender to Lord Chaitanya's service, to that degree we acquire qualification for service to Radharani's lotus feet in Braja.
You have got my Bhakti Rakshaka Bhajana Madhuri, that book? Somewhere. Okay. In that book, many wonderful verses about Lord Gauranga composed by Srila Prabhodananda Sarasvati Thakur, quoted there as released by Guru Maharaj.
I found from Banshi Gurudev, as much as you dedicate yourself to Gauranga, automatically you will find in your mind that Radharani is service to Krishna. Automatically it comes. Yata, yata, as much energy as you devote here, surely and very clearly and purely, that sort of Vrindavan Radharani service, rasa, automatically you will find in you.
See, this is a real translation of the verse.
I can read this was his direct speaking, but in translation is, as much as we devote ourselves to the lotus feet of Sri Gauranga, we will automatically achieve the nectarine service of Srimati Radharani in Vrindavan.
Yes, that's okay. Literally Formally, it's a good translation. And read again Srila Guru Maharaj's explanation.
In many places, this is only one place. Here he only said, as much as you dedicate yourself to Gauranga, automatically you will find in your mind that Radharani service.
Yes. In mind means in heart.
Yes. Automatically it comes. As much energy as you devote here, surely and very clearly and purely, that sort of Vrindavan Radharani service, rasa, automatically you will find.
Come, because Lord Gauranga is none other than Radha Bhavaddhati Subalitam. Radha Bhavaddhati Subalitam Krishna. The more, to the degree you will be dedicated, you will be lovingly dedicated in the service of Lord Gauranga, automatically to that degree, the Radha Dasham, see that wonderful, beautiful nectarine Radha Dasham will be revealing in your heart. That degree will be manifesting, revealing. In your heart, accordingly, and you will be receiving, you will be attaining the nectar of Radha Kainkarjam, Radha Dasham, accordingly, through your wholehearted dedication, through your degrees, different degrees of your loving dedication to Lord Gauranga. You will also be receiving Radha Dasham accordingly. Accordingly. Beautiful verse. Jatpada padam nakhachandramani chataya. Yes, amongst the gopis, be merciful to me. Describing Srimati Radharani's beauty. Describing about the transcendental beauty of Srimati Radharani. Super excellent beauty of Srimati Radharani. Just one aspect. May Sri Radha, who is the personified nectar ocean of perfect spiritual love, devotional love, and the splendor of whose Chandrakanta jeweled toenails. When will Vrindavana's queen Radha, her eyes restless with love and her limbs like waves in the flooding ocean of nectar, place her merciful glance upon me. Another wonderful verse. When will Vrindavana's queen, Sri Radha, her eyes restless with love and her limbs like waves, bit poetically translated here, her limbs like waves in the flooding ocean of nectar, place her merciful glance upon me. Angair iva pranaya lola bilochanaya. can be translated in a different way, different, nicer way. When will Vrindavana's queen, Radha, her eyes restless with love and her limbs are waving in thrills? It says that the inner mood is that, inner meaning. Her limbs are waving with thrills, like in the flooding ocean of nectar. Flooding ocean of nectar will be placing her merciful glance upon me. Ah, wonderfully beautiful. O Queen of Vrindavan, I take shelter of your lotus feet, which flooded with nectar, which are cool and pleasing, and which, placed over Lord Krishna's heart, extinguish the blazing fire of desire. That what super excellent quality, characteristic, that which are flooded with nectar, which are cool and pleasing, and which, being placed over Lord Krishna's heart, always extinguish the blazing fire of desire that torments him. Nectar poetry. Nectar poetry. Nectar poetry is of describing, singing the glory of Radha Dashram. Singing the most lofty glory, transcendental glories, qualities of Sri Radha Dashram. Very cutely sweet way of describing. Will I see graceful Radha, first shyly gazing at her own toes, then from afar, gazing at the full moon face of the King of Rasikas. King of Rasikas means Krishna, Rasaraja Krishna. And then her ankles tinkling as she runs to meet him. Then her anklets begin to be tinkling as she began to run to meet him, her supreme beloved. So beautifully, poetically, divinely. Jai Srimati Radha Thakurani, very mercifully engaging us today, now, in singing her glories, in singing her nectarine glories, in close, intimate relation to Krishna. Another verse. Another verse translation. May Sri Radha, who is an ocean of intelligence, a nectar ocean of love, an ocean of kind affection, an ocean of great mercy, an ocean of beauty, an ocean of nectar splendor, and an ocean of transcendental pastimes appear in my heart. So beautifully glorified here. I repeat, I read again. May Sri Radha, it actually needs to be sung. I feel like singing these lines. Instead of just uttering, reading out, uttering, feel like singing each line, each word. May Sri Radha, who is an ocean of intelligence, ocean of divine intelligence, a nectar ocean of love, an ocean of kind affection, an ocean of great mercy, an ocean of beauty, unlimited beauty, an ocean of nectar splendor, and an ocean of transcendental pastimes appear in my heart, be appearing in my heart. May King Vrishabhanu's daughter, who becomes startled when she hears the music of Krishna's flute, and whose limbs become like a wonderful blossoming champaka. I repeat, and whose limbs simply become like a wonderful blossoming champaka flower, champaka vine, when she gazes at Krishna. Become pleased with my singing songs. Become pleased with my singing songs about Krishna's glories. May she suddenly embrace me. May she suddenly embrace me. Now Srila Prabhodananda has composed this kind of verses in the mood of Sakhi, the mood of her beloved Sakhi, Radharani. And speaking from that super excellent level, that transcendental level and mood. May she suddenly embrace me. Jai Maharaj. Jai Bhakti Nishtha Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Ho. Jai Ho. Coming in a few minutes. I'm also tasting so much prasad here.
You're tasting and you distribute.
Delicious prasadam. Coming in a few minutes. Beautiful picture of Srimad Bhakti Vallabh Tirtha Maharaj on your phone. Every time I look at his naturally smiling, beautiful photo, my heart is pleased. I receive some natural pleasure and delight. Having darshan of a pure sadhu, real Vaishnava. Okay, now it is prasadam time. So should be going for taking prasadam. They will be waiting.
And surrendering life to your beloved or to your family and someone. So we have like these two clear distinctions.
Okay, nice to know about that. Yes. Good.
And while translating, sometimes it's really difficult to know which one to use.
So it has